Pro Bono means everything to Cooley. It's deeply rooted in our culture, important to the founders of the firm almost 100 years ago today. To this day, it still continues to be one of the things that inspires the lawyers in this law firm, even more than performance in the courtroom and performance in the boardroom.
What I really appreciate about Cooley is that they're so supportive of the mission, that they have taken such an interest in the different pro bono organizations in DC, Maryland, Virginia, in this area. And they've created incentives for associates to take on those cases.
Cooley works with many amazing community partners, including organizations like KIND, and they help us make sure that the pro bono work we're doing is responsive to the needs in the community.
To have the support of Cooley means that KIND as an organization can achieve its mission. What we're setting out to do is to ensure that no child ever appears in immigration court alone. The only way we can do that is in partnership with firms like Cooley. What we do at KIND is very closely train and mentor our volunteer lawyers so that they feel comfortable providing quality representation to the child. If there isn't a lawyer there, I can tell you it is a travesty of justice. I have literally been in an immigration courtroom and seen a 5-year-old clutching a doll, sitting before an immigration judge who's behind the bench in a robe. A well-seasoned, trained attorney from the Department of Homeland Security was arguing for that 5-year-old's deportation from the United States, and there the child sat with nobody to help her. Counsel makes all the difference to these children, because children who are represented by a lawyer are 5 times more likely to gain some form of protection in the United States and allowed to remain.
There's so many areas where there's a need for pro bono assistance, where there's a need for representation, and I think that it's most meaningful for our attorneys and really also most valuable for our clients when our attorneys are able to connect with work that they find personally meaningful.
Cooley has been a tremendous partner to KIND since pretty much the very beginning when we launched. Cooley has taken dozens of cases. We've seen the enthusiasm of Cooley's lawyers as they represent these children, and they literally are making a life-altering difference in these children's lives, because when the child is represented by a Cooley attorney, chances are they're going to gain protection and the ability to remain in the United States.
It is an important part of our culture here at Cooley to give back to the communities in which we practice, and pro bono is really the heart of that commitment. We want to make sure that our pro bono work is focused in a way that it helps address the gap in access to representation and the gap in access to justice.
I've always had an interest in the Innocence Project, and Cooley has a number of relationships with different Innocence networks across the country, but they didn't have one in the Mid-Atlantic region. The Mid-Atlantic Innocence Project works to correct the conviction of innocent persons who've been convicted in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. And although they're a very small organization, they are very mighty. And over the past 18 years, they have worked to exonerate 25 men who collectively have spent over 400 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. I went to the Pro Bono committee and I said, I think we should have some sort of relationship with this organization. We got a training in place, and now we have over 25 associates and partners working on cases with that organization, and the firm has been behind it every step of the way.
Our Cooley attorneys provide representation to so many different types of pro bono clients in many different areas, in addition to our pro bono work in some of the more traditional pro bono areas like immigration and domestic violence and housing. We also represent low-income entrepreneurs and nonprofits.
It feels really good, honestly, to help someone who may not be able to access the legal system without your help. It just reminds you to put it all in perspective. You know, we are lawyers in a community, and to be able to use our knowledge to help someone else, it really is just the best feeling.
Invariably, when I go to an office and I walk in the door and somebody wants to come up and tell me something good that happened, it's not about winning a case, it's not about, you know, doing a big deal, it's about some remarkable achievement in a pro bono matter. And the energy and the pride and the passion that they feel for that just makes me feel really, really good.
You meet these people and you just think, how can I not help? How can I not be available to you? And to be at a place like Cooley that supports that mission, it's the best feeling.